Okay, please.
Good afternoon, one and all. So we'll start the next session on urban mobility and public transport by Dr. Chinmay Hegde. So Dr. Chinmay Hegde is a subject matter expert in the areas of smart things and cyber security with an experience over 20 years in the industry. Worked for the global giants such as McAfee's, Symantec and Cisco. He is now the managing director of Estricos Consulting Private Limited, a strategic consulting expert organization for smart cities, smart infrastructure and security in India. He works closely with multiple governmental and non-governmental organizations in India and ASEAN countries. Dr. Hegde possesses intellectual properties in the area of urban analytics, and security compliances and enforcement. He also champions the Global Smart City, IoT and Security Framework, on which he has presented several research papers and published in international journals. He is abroad as a mentor for guiding the reskilling and upskilling initiatives with multiple academic organizations, including Rewa University and Nexus, Malaysia. I welcome you, Dr. Chinmay Hegde. Over to you.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Rajeshwari Hegde, for the kind introduction, and it's quite exhaustive. Thanks for that. And today we are going to brush upon a particular topic of urban mobility and safety. So, which is a part of the smart city in the infrastructure or a building block. This is one of the very important one. So, am I clearly audible to all of you?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just stop the video and put a presentation on. I have a slide deck to present to all of you. Then we can move on from that. Is my screen visible to all of you? I'll make it a full screen. If I make a full screen, is still visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. So the topic that I have taken, of course, I'll run this based on the agenda entirely. So first, I'll be explaining about the subject matter, and then we can open for the entire forum for the questions, and respective queries or questions you can feel free to ask after that. So just a quick glimpse about what we have been into, the organization that I am involved into, and we are specialized in the area of smart cities, and that is the experience what we gained over the period of last 4 or 5 years, which I want to share with all of you. So where we have theoretical knowledge as well as we are hands-on even in India as well as overseas for implementing the respective smart city systems, which even includes the various aspects of the smart city, that includes the urban landscape as well as the GIS mapping, as well as command control center, water management system, power management system, as well as surveillance and the traffic management. When I say traffic management, it can be either intelligent traffic management systems or it could be even adaptive traffic management system, both the ways. So where we have been involved in making or helping the policy makers to make the policies, right? So where each city, let us take an example of India itself, where we have been working in cities like cities of Sikkim as well as cities in Karnataka, right? So the traffic diaspora is completely different, right? The pattern and everything is different. The challenges of each terrain is quite different. Karnataka, the problem is the density on the roads. Infrastructure is far better compared to the northeastern region, but however, when we go to the northeast, we find different kind of a challenges. Though there is no density, traffic density on the roads, but they will have different challenges such as landslides, blockades, and etc., where the emergency management, emergency movement, right? So mobilization of the emergency forces is quite important out there. So here, when I take about the example, when I talk about the example of emergency response, so what we handle in the mainland India, or let us say Karnataka itself, which is part of mainland India, the challenges of emergency response mobilization is different, and the challenge in the Sikkim kind of a state, which is a Himalayan terrain, there it is quite different. So uh, some of the cases that we are working currently is as many as five different smart cities, and also we are even working outside India in Middle East as well as the ASEAN countries. So moving on to the next, today's agenda is the overview of the complete mobility ecosystem, where the building blocks of the mobility ecosystem, maybe it is urban or a highway or any such kind of infrastructure, right? So and urban mobility challenges, because we are focusing on respective urban mobility where because our focus point is smart city. Smart city may not cover the highways, because highways are covered under on a total larger landscape, but the urban mobility is the major aspect when we consider a smart city or a city infrastructure is considered. So similarly, the emphasis on safety in urban mobility, because when we talk about the safety in the urban mobility, it is quite important to pay attention to emergency response, because accidents are not, forecasted so easily. If we could forecast accidents, those are not called accidents, right? So we have to consider accidents as emergencies, and we have to respond to the situation timely for the accidents. So that is the requirement. Hence, we have to pay a good amount of attention on safety in the urban mobility. Next, what are the key drivers for the safety as well as the mobility ecosystems implementation, or maybe even how can a technology help that to do that? Even the need analysis, and then more elucidations and insights like, okay, how the need is getting created, or maybe it is the need is changing over the period of time. The 20 years ago, let us take an example of Bangalore's traffic, was the pattern was something different, right? Now it is quite different. Maybe when I say about now, it could be in 2019 it was different, and maybe in 2021 it is again different, maybe because of pandemic, right? So the entire urban mobility landscape is totally changing over the period of time. So how to address these kind of needs? So now, where all the technology can help to tackle these challenges, and what kind of technologies are available in the market at this time? Because ultimately, when we talk about the industry, because industrial readiness for the smart cities or a smart infrastructure, so we need to also take in consideration of the infrastructural components such as roads or the pavements or signals, etc. At the same time, we also have to take care of the technological interventions, or in simple, if I have to say, ICT intervention also, where ICT can help out in terms of one is intelligently monitoring the traffic landscape of the entire urban area, or controlling the traffic sitting in a single control center or a control room, or even in case of smart cities it is called integrated command and control centers. Sitting out there, how can we completely take uh, control on the entire city's traffic? Also, some technologies such as adaptable traffic management system, or intelligent traffic enforcement or traffic management systems, and how India, is coping with the emergence of the technology or emergence of the new challenges. So also, what is that Indian administration in various parts of India is doing to tackle the road safety challenges. And then we'll summarize and then wind up the session and open for the question. So this is in a nutshell the agenda that I have crafted for today. Okay. So moving on to the mobility ecosystem and evolution, how it has been moving over the period of time is one is rising urbanization. This is very important aspect which has been because urban population because of the migration, right? Because any urban area or any city is tackling with this particular challenge of the rural population is migrating to urban area. Hence, it will result in especially the particular higher traffic congestion or the shortage of parking spaces. So when I talk about the road safety, yes, we have to take care of parking also as a part of the important imperative. So this is as per the survey of Autotech Review, right? So where the increase in the accidents have happened over the period of time, where this is a kind of, if we say 100% higher, over the period of time. And next is about the environmental concerns. Right now, as all of us are aware, India has also signed for the Global Pact of Sustainability, or in simple, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So when the environmental concerns are quite important, such as carbon emission or CO2 emissions or any such kind of a greenhouse gases emission, apart from that, there is another devil which sits there and maybe it's more damaging is the microparticles like PM 2.5 or PM 10. So it is important to address the environmental concerns also as we move on, looking at the urban mobility landscape. Same way, the changing customers. Changing customers is like okay. I can take in terms of take the examples in terms of the generations or the age groups of the people. At the same time, the environment pre-pandemic and post-pandemic also, right? So the thing is, 78%. The survey says that 78% of the millennials prefer spending on experiences over buying goods. So that means the thing is 78% of the millennials did not want to own the cars, but they want to travel a lot using the maybe public transport or something of that sort. So they express that they are preferring experiences over buying the goods. Similarly, do not intend to buy a car in near future. That is a 30% of the population overall across the age groups. So similarly, there are X2. There is a 2x increase in the global car sharing. That's a carpooling in 2012 to 14 in 2 years time frame. And average time spent by Indian on mobile is 24 hours a week. So this is, even though this entire data set is totally disparate, but the companies like Ola, Uber, or such kind of a privately owned public transport organizations have taken the use of this and then they built their respective model overall. So, which is quite successful in terms of usages in the public, right? So, similarly, technological evolution has been, the upcoming one where the India is well coping with the world standard. That is like Indian standard sometimes could be even, maybe in a year or two or maybe three, Indian standards may be higher than the world standards in terms of the internet penetration and technological penetrations overall. So expected number of IoT devices, because IoT is ruling now entire urban mobility or any other technological landscape or urban services landscape in general, if I have to talk about. So which is going to increase beyond 2020 and between 2025. Similarly, 17% CAGR growth overall, expected growth for artificial intelligence in transport. When I talk about artificial intelligence in transport, this is something like all of us might have thought that okay, if I am there on JC Road, there are four signals in a line, and the why one signal is not synchronizing with the next signal. When I cross the first signal that hits the green and immediately I move on, I should be given with the complete corridor, green corridor, so that I can move faster. This is what I think every single audience out here might have thought when they were crossing, right? So now how this could be achieved? This could be achieved using some of the artificial intelligence based technologies, which are in simple called adaptive traffic management systems, which actually provides the automated timers which can be synchronized across the signals in a single corridor. So, moving on to the next thing is, if you have heard of this thing, like a developed country is not a place where the poor have cars. It's where the rich people ride public transportation. This is Enrique Peñalosa has told. He was actually mayor of Bogota. He has told long ago, that is 1998 to 2001, right? Where after this, the Bogota had actually, the better traffic infrastructure, where the public infrastructure has been increased. Of course, yes, that has been. Now in India we are seeing that maybe either in terms of state owned public transport systems or privately owned public transport systems, we are seeing that. So maintaining the road infrastructure is a challenge. Yes, of course it is a challenge for the bigger cities. The bigger the city, the problems are more, no doubts. And maintaining the seamless flow of traffic and encouraging the citizens to use the public transportation services, because now, yes, there may be a kind of a drive which has happened over the period of last 5 or 6 years, where people have been traveling in public transportation thanks to the metro rail or maybe Ola, Uber's kind of revolutions or anything. Yes, but there are other cities in India where um, these things have to still pick up. And rapid mobilization of emergency response facilities is a very important challenge, because we know, we are reading, we are watching in the news, maybe on almost alternative day basis, that maybe a road was blocked, and ambulances have to face the problem, or fire engines have to face the problems, and all these things. Yes, that is how to mobilize this kind of emergency response facilities quickly and timely. It could reach the respective audiences. And sustainable and environmental friendliness, that is like low emission. And as all of us are aware, just last year in the budget of Karnataka government has brought in electrical vehicle charging infrastructure policy. And also government of India in the recent budget has given the upthrust to usage of electrical vehicles, and also some perks in terms of road taxes and etc. for usage of electrical vehicles. That revolution has started, and as per one of the surveys, it is told, or it is known that it has come to the light that in by 2030 India may have more than 40 to 45% of the electrical vehicles penetration across the general public. So even governments also, the state governments also have started adopting a policy that all the government owned vehicles should convert to the electrical vehicles. Of course, this is completely in line with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals policy, where India has also signed the Paris Pact in 2014, where it would be even um, achieved over the period of time. But India has actually set a very aggressive goal of meeting a good amount of sustainabilities, or becoming a carbon free kind of environment, or maybe near carbon free environment by 2030. Of course, it is quite aggressive, but maybe with all of our participation, it could be even achieved. Let's hope for the best. So now more emphasis on urban safety to showcase is, it is observed that the younger group is prone to the road accident. If you see here, the road deaths by, sorry, I have moved a slide, thing is I have to move back. So road deaths by age group, the age group of 18 to 45 is more prone to the road accidents or the road deaths by road accidents. Why? That may be because of uh, the reason that there could be, it is observed that the younger age group is uh, prone to the accident because of the aggression or any such kind of a things, right? So probably that is what we would anticipate for. And also two-wheelers and three-wheelers are more prone to accidents. Top root causes for accidents, as per this is actually from the national record, right? So negligence of the driver is one of the very important aspect. Next is impatience on the road, and then the collateral damages. So what are the collateral damages? Of course, uh, the one person must be following or obeying the traffic rules, but the other person, it's, may not be following that. Because of the other people, the self is suffering, maybe one of the reasons of collateral damages. Or there may be a possibility that two vehicles colliding and somebody else is dying, right? So coming under the collision. So this is from the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways overall survey, which has told. And also more deep dive into this, the causes of accidents. I'm again sorry for moving the slide. Just a moment. Yeah, fault of the driver, fault of the cyclist, and fault of the driver of other vehicles, fault of pedestrians. So 77% what we are seeing is actually defect in the condition, right, of the motor vehicle. Maybe it is a brake fail or any such kind of a cases. That is the major possibility, which could be even some cases it could be even a weather conditions or poor light or neglect of the civic bodies. So these are the more deep dive reasons of it. Now more insights into this is 17 deaths on India's roads every hour. Chennai and Delhi are most dangerous. So that means Chennai and Delhi have reported more number of deaths on the roads. Right? So this is not a small number. The big number, if we see here in the year, right? So the official data of 2016. Anybody has any questions? Oh, yeah. So big numbers out here. The accidents are 4,80,000. Deaths are 1.5 lakh. Every day picture, if you take, there are 1,300 accidents are going on, are happening, and 400 plus deaths are happening. Similarly, hourly picture is very drastic. Yes, of course, all of us may even feel that this may be even worse than our current pandemic, right? There has been articles in the news which were going on, stating that the pandemic has killed less number of people, but the road accidents have killed more, right? So even that has been the case, and more and more, if we see the state-wise spread here, Tamil Nadu has the huge share, and Uttar Pradesh has the very big share. Similarly, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Rajasthan, all these kind of states are having significantly their shares. And the most important issue is bigger the city, bigger the problem is, right? So, and there is a big need for urban mobility management and technological intervention, because there are a lot of violations which are happening, right? So what are these violations? Violations are like jumping the red light. It could be use of mobile phones while driving, or over speeding, right? Or drunken driving, wrong side driving, or any such kind of cases. So this is again from the data which was taken in 2018. Of course, 2019 has been the biggest of everything. 2020-21 may not have so significant contribution to this data, but 2018 and 19 have been the key years where the surveys could have been resulted realistically. Right? So the most dangerous cities, if you are able to see in the bottom right corner of the screen, Chennai, Delhi, Bengaluru, Indore, Kolkata, and Mumbai. Right? So there, the number of accidents have been very high. So now let us come to the ICT intervention or the technological intervention into Indian smart cities, right? So what are all the various interventions that could be possible in the urban mobility landscape? Number one is adaptive traffic control, right? And then smart transport and virtual boundaries. When I say about a transport and virtual boundaries, this is nothing but the geofencing of a particular vehicle, which may not need to go beyond a particular limit, right? So that's the thing. And also tracking the respective public transport or the emergency response vehicles is part of smart transport, and also monitoring their fuel consumption as well as emission is also possible using the technology. Similarly, the GIS enablement for urban administration, where the on the geospatial information system, the urban administrators can get a hang of the situation anytime. Maybe it is on a video wall in the command control center, maybe on a palm top or a laptop, or even on the mobile phones, they can control the city traffic. The respective privileged administrators can do that. Similarly, the traffic enforcement, the RLVD, when I say RLVD, it is a red light violation detection, and SVD is a speed violation detection. So, how this could work? The red light violation detection is a camera based sensing mechanism. Also, it has a radar's help. However, the speed violation detection is by means of the radar systems, where each signals would have that particular radar where it can sense the speed of the respective vehicles which is approaching, right? So right now, recently in Bangalore, there have been some of the uh, the display boards of arriving vehicle or approaching vehicle could be shown. They have deployed in many places, right? One of the places just nearby in JP Nagar, and just before the underpass of JP Nagar, if you would have observed, right? So that is a radar based system. As the vehicle is approaching, the radar in that particular system which senses the speed of the vehicle and displays on the board out there. So similarly, the e-challans, because when we talk about the traffic enforcement, there needs to be a particular penalty or the fine, right? So otherwise, people will keep on violating the rules. And these electronic challan based systems, which are hand in hand along with RLVD and SVD systems, which will automatically define the rules violation and trigger it, and then the challan is issued. Similarly, the next aspect of the urban mobility is a rapid emergency response, right? So, rapid emergency response mobility for the ambulances or the fire engines or any such kind of, even it may be even a police patrol vehicles or anything of that sort too. So when we look at this particular picture one by one, the sensors even detect the parking management. This shows, sorry, the parking management is shown here as an illustration out here. If you see, sensors detects whether the parking space is occupied or vacant, and the sensor transmits the data to the central server. Central server immediately informs the smartphone application of the driver who is using, who can find the parking space, and the parking fee is paid directly on the app itself, right? So this is one of the methodology. Otherwise, there will be a particular parking fee, point of sales, POS machine, where they can pay, the kiosk, right? Also, the similarly, the special permits such as parking and local resident ID or permits of taxis, coaches, etc. The segregation of the vehicles where they need to be parked could be figured out, and also legitimation. So access control to the respective areas, restricted areas, could also be given. So that's how this entire parking management, which is one of the very important aspect of the smart cities implementation, has been working over the period of last 3 years. It is there, and it's emerging. The sensor based system or the camera based system, there is always a debate. Of course, sensor based system, though it is a costly system, maybe having a better accuracy, is overtaking camera-based systems slowly. So one of the use cases I want to show now is the respective smart city use case, right? Where command and control center of a smart city, because every movement of all the vehicles across the city are, or the roads status, such as which road is clogged or where the respective the free corridors or the green corridors have to be created for the movement of either it is certain vehicles of emergency movement, such as fire engine, it could be ambulance or anything to be moved, how to synchronize everything is monitored in the smart cities or the cities command and control center environment, where the command and control center environment entirely uh, controls this the total scenario, and also which guides how the respective SOPs or the workflows need to be initiated, right? So because every urban infrastructure is governed by respective KPIs, key performance indicators. Now these key performance indicators are in fact are by means of following some kind of a standard operating protocols or SOPs. So these SOPs are nothing but the typical workflows laid out for the following of the city's administration, where the city's administration or the stakeholders would be following those SOPs, and then based on that, they will be functioning on day-to-day basis. Now, the thing is, I'm going to just show you how mobilizing a fire engine service. This is the use case I'm showing right now. It's a quick video capture of how a software-driven, which one of the cities where we had implemented, right? So, how this command control center infrastructure is used for the purpose of mobilizing the fire engine. So this is a quick video I'm playing now. While I'm playing this, I'm going to explain. So this is the SOP mechanism system, right? So this is how a complete operations command control center for the city looks like. Okay, we have, like the way we have the traffic management systems like smart bus or CCTV or intelligent transit or transport management system and environmental sensors. Like this, we also have all the smart cities services, such as it may be a integrated building management system or a power management system, water management system, or STP, sewage treatment plants, or any such kind of tracks like smart parking, right? So each of these are available for the city's administrators. This is the kind of not a dashboard, it's an operational dashboard, right? So where the respective stakeholder of various different departments who are all gathered together in a single command room are sitting on a day-to-day basis, and they are going to operate on this respective dashboard, where we can see here the respective SOP status, right? So here we are seeing the some of the KPIs of CCTV monitoring, right? So which are all the types of the incidents, right? Loitering, somebody is loitering and it may be a little bit of a suspicious, or somebody has fallen, the person has collapsed, like because of accident or any such kind of a cases, the cameras will immediately detect the person collapsing, right? The cameras detects, and then there may be either a camera based analytics or the software based analytics in the backend server, right? Which can do a quick video intelligence based analytics and then trigger the incident that a person has collapsed because of maybe a collision of vehicle or some other reasons. Similarly, the congestion, like a monitoring, crowd management aspect, right? So where there is a big amount of crowd gathering. So because of the crowd gathering, how many incidents in the city would have happened? Three different places, because the threshold could be set there, right? Anywhere more than 20 people are gathered, because in the current scenario of the pandemic control, where the containment zones and or the section 144 where the police may be deploying, identifying such scenarios is quite important. Even the surveillance system can identify that and inform the emergency case back to the command control center. And like this, there may be various different what do you call the incidents can be there. Also, when we talk about the SOP view, right? So each SOP or the standard operations procedure or the workflow should be governed by the turnaround time for each stakeholder. Like, okay, somebody, the let us say automatically camera has identified a person collapsing, right? From the time of the person collapsing, maybe because of accident, right? So immediately the emergency service has to be mobilized. This entire thing needs to happen with the minimal manual intervention. Only then we can achieve higher efficiency. So this overall turnaround time is actually the case where entire thing will be tracked in terms of the respective stakeholders. Like, okay, let us say here we have the response, right? So response of police, response of traffic police, and response of fire station overall, right? So the complete stakeholders, all three stakeholders which are related to the emergency case are brought onto the platform. And similarly, when they have actually completed, right? So one is the what was the response time, another is the completion time, right? Because when any kind of incident occurs, there are two important aspects have to be taken care of. One is about how fast the situation was responded. Second one is how fast the situation was resolved or the completed, right? So the respective stakeholders are here, right? When we see this, we can see when the SOP was created or a workflow is created. The SOP view was created on September 8th of 2018 and 6:59 a.m., which was created. And who were all notified? Right? So who were all notified? Fire station was notified. Police. When I say police, it is a law and order police, right? Was notified at this time, and similarly, traffic police was also notified at that particular time. Then the respondent or acknowledged who, at what time they acknowledged, and also at what time they completed. Each will, right now it is just open status. Now next it will move to the response status. Okay, fire station responded that I received the incident. Okay, I'm working on it. Similarly, the law and order police and traffic police also would be able to acknowledge that, okay, I received the ticket. Now once the ticket is worked upon and then it is closed, then again automatically system will track the status of this. This is the complete workflow. Like this, there are many incidents here, right? Bus breakdown or reading issue, or fans, no, all those kind of things, various different things. CCTV loitering reported, somebody slip and fall occurred, all these kind of things, right? So now just I'm showing you that how it overall works in case of the smart cities is just moving. As you keep observing, the SOP is created and designed, right? So each of these departments we are assigning out here, right? So once we assign, then immediately we can start the, set up the respective vehicles, such as which are all the emergency vehicles which need to go, police van or whatever has to go to the respective location of the thing. Means the platform, one, it integrates the people of the various departments. Similarly, it also integrates the fleet of the various different departments. So fleet or the asset is mapped to the respective people, and then the further action is taken up, right? So a particular vehicle is aligned with the work, and immediately for the respective thing, this police van is assigned, or the third escalation channel, there is another fire truck is assigned, right? So now in this SOP or the in this use case, what are we doing is we are doing a simple case that there is somewhere there is a fire outbreak, and fire van has fire engine is sent there. But when the fire engine is being sent there, the police patrol vehicle in the respective areas forecastingly clearing the traffic, right? So when the area is being forecastingly being cleared, at that time on the other side the traffic police or the law and order police sitting in the command center are watching that happening on the CCTV cameras deployed across the city. This is the use case, because one is about mobilization response, but at the same time there is a surveillance going on so that there are no unforeseen issues occur or the hurdles occur for this emergency response movement. This is the use case, right? So we are moving and we are saving this SOP, and once this SOP is saved, SOP incident is updated successfully, and we are moving on to execution of this SOP. So now once this is saved, we are opening and tracking this respective SOP, right? When we are tracking this SOP, if you see on the map here, there is this particular place where there is emergency which has occurred, and these are all the various different cameras, right? And this is what is the traffic pattern: green, red, and amber. If you are seeing here, right, the orange color, right? So similarly, there are a lot of vehicles out here on the road or the respective places, bus shelters or something. Now, the challenge is on the urban administrator is to how to take the situation in control, right? Now, the fire engine is identified from here, which has to go, right? So now how it will go? We'll see that the fire engine has started from a particular place. It is slowly moving. At the same time, there are actually the uh, two fire engines which are going, and also we are setting up a point A to point B from where it has to go and to where it has to reach. So system has suggested this is the optimized route for moving this. So this particular uh, route is actually optimized, and it is a 3 kilometer, takes 6 minutes. Now we are going to mobilize this, and the vehicle started moving to their location. And similarly, as the vehicle is moving to the, this is the source destination, this is the target destination which it has to reach to, right? So when it is moving, we are seeing out here the respective cameras, right? Because we have to do the surveillance of where is it going. So we are opening the cameras in the road and seeing how is the traffic situation out there. So near hospital road number, fine, road is clear and we can move on. And similarly, this is near Citibank road number 12. This is also fine. We can move because already there is a patrol van. If you remember in the SOP we have said that has been clearing the roads for the fire engine to move. Similarly, the other area, other camera, everywhere it is fine, it has moved. Now the respective SOP is tracked well, and the respective vehicle has reached the destination out here, right? And based on that, we are moving. The add incident which was created, now fine, the incident is created out here. Incident is added, fire at the junction. Yeah, here city emergency response is the group which is assigned with incident category, and police, traffic are assigned with this respective thing, and the save, and this particular thing is saved and notified. Yeah, the address of the location is also given, and the incident is notified to the respective thing and saved and notified, and the SOP is completely closed with the incident report overall. Any questions there? Somebody is talking.
No, you can continue.
Okay. So this is about how the emergency management has been done, one of the use cases that I have displayed. And that's about it. Now I'm opening up for the questions, right? So I think I finished 15 minutes earlier to my stipulated schedule. And now any questions, please go ahead and ask about the urban mobility or the road safety, or how is the smart cities technological intervention. helping in this. Yeah.
What are the challenges in implementing this?
Okay. So the biggest challenge in implementing this is, one is already there may be existing investments such as in India especially, the signals were deployed, maybe FTTS. There are two types of traffic signals, right? One is a fixed time traffic signals and another is adaptive controller based signals. So, hello? Any other? Okay.
No, you
So
can continue.
the India has started, or Indian cities, maybe tier 2 to tier 3 cities have adopted fixed time traffic signals just recently. Okay. Now the biggest challenge before the urban administrators is how can we discard already made investment and move on to the next level of implementing adaptive traffic management. So this is number one. In any urban migrations in India, we face this challenge. How can I discard my existing investment? Right. So hence the biggest challenge occurs is retrofitting. Right. Whatever the technology we bring in, that technology, if it has to be accepted by the urban administrators or the citizens both, there needs to be a lookout or there needs to be a readiness for retrofitting. That is the number one challenge, right? So not all the technologies are retrofitment ready. Second one is, of course, following the rules, right? Rules could be laid out, right? So, but following the rules is quite important. Also, the third challenge is enforcement of rules, because everywhere you cannot have same type of a rule. Because let us say, when we observe in environmental conditions itself in India is quite diverse, right? Across India there are different climatic conditions. When similar way in the people's mindset or cities landscape or urban landscape also, each city of India is quite different. So bringing in the policy, unilateral policy for all the cities will not make any sense. Hence, convincing the urban administrators to mend or bend or amend the policies, which is more practical for their cities, is the challenging aspect. These three I am calling out as top three challenges. Am I clear?
Yes, there is one more question in the chat box. Which reference book you will suggest to the context of mobility challenges and solutions in the smart city?
Okay. So I suggest the smart cities guidelines by Smart City Mission, right? That's the full guide, complete guide. Okay. Uh, that is number one. And second one, there is a C-Step has done a practical survey and created a complete ebook under Niti Aayog, right? So they have made across maybe around 30% of the selected 100 smart cities across India, and they brought in a survey and the respective challenges. And also they cover something called citizen priority survey, which is very important aspect. Every city, people are saying that traffic congestion is a problem. Like example, if I have to tell you, even Belagavi city where we implemented citizen priority survey had the main thing is number one challenge in the entire city was traffic congestion, but actually the root cause was something different, right? So all these kind of use cases that book also calls out for. Of course, I will pass on the soft copies of these to Dr. Rajeshwari Hegde, who can in turn circulate to others.
And there is one more question.
Yes,
Any possibility of academic collaboration with STCOs in terms of research and student internships? So this is by Dr. Shambhavi from BMS.
definitely it is there. We are also your next door. We are in the same area of Baswangudi. Okay. So we can definitely collaborate on these things. And also we can, of course, we have been even recently doing, even in our larger partners such as Schneider Electric or any such kind of a companies who are there having a good footprints in smart cities with the help of the various different industrial tools for the physical command control centers of the cities implemented in or across India also is possible, maybe a virtual tour or a physical tour both.
Any other question? So if there are any questions, you can put it in the chat box. Can we consider FASTag system as a smart city solution?
It is not a smart city solution because it is a national highway solution. FASTag system is, which is not coming under. When I talk about like this, it is mainly jurisdictional. The smart city is for a city limit. Okay, so FASTag is mainly for outside the city limit. The toll or toll gating systems and or the toll collection systems. These are all mainly not for within the city's jurisdiction. These are mainly from city to city, one city to other city. That's why it is not considered as a smart city solution.
Any other question? There is one more question. Vehicle to vehicle intelligence communication system comes under smart cities.
Yes, yes. Currently, DULT, if you would have heard of DULT, is the Directorate of Urban Land Travel, right? So they are conducting some of the proof of concepts or the trial runs with various different players, right? So they are considering this vehicle to vehicle communication. You know, right? But the policy matters are quite important here because India is a democratic country, correct? People often feel that why government should invade on my privacy, correct? So for that, DULT or any such kind of regulatory bodies, they are actually conducting certain kind of tests where these kind of sensors are not invading the privacy of the citizens, because citizens should not be tracked. That is against the Constitution of India. So that is what is going on. The policy matters are very important. Technological challenges is yes secondary, but technological challenges can be solved. No issues on that because technology is advancing and near field sensors or such kind of you know um, technologies could be brought in for communicating in advance to the other vehicles drivers who are also approaching the same intersection where you must be approaching to, right? So this could be figured out. That's the thing.
So any other question? So if there are no other questions, we'll wind up the session. Thank you, Dr. Chinmay, for delivering a very informative talk on urban mobility and public transport. See you again on Friday for the talk on integrated command and control centers for smart cities.
Perfectly fine. So I will look forward to the Friday session. Yeah, that will be a little bit more elaborate. Okay, I may need a little few more minutes than scheduled time on that day.
So it will be for 1.5 hours.
Okay, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Yeah,
yes.
That should be okay with me.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. You have been a very great audience, and thanks for the nice questions. And anything is there, you can send over the email. I can respond. Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Rajeshwari, for providing this opportunity, and let us look forward to the future, and let us hope that India will be emerging even better going forward. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Kindly fill the feedback form. So it will be active for another 15 minutes. And
can I log out?
Yes, Chinmay, yes.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.